Hey guys, Mike here. I'm going to do a short video on the installation of the WeatherTech hood deflector. Last week I did the window deflectors, as you can see there. Sorry I didn't do a short video on those, but I'm going to do a short video for the hood deflector here. The first thing I'm going to do is wash down the hood real quick where the deflector is going to be installed, and then we'll start with the installation. Today I got with me my Huskies, Sadie and Kodiak. Say hi, guys. They're kind of shy. Anyway, we'll get started with this. So obviously this is for the 5th generation Toyota 4Runner. I'm installing this on a 2020 Toyota 4Runner Venture Special Edition. So this should be pretty similar for any 5th gen 4Runner, and probably pretty similar for just about any vehicle. But this is specifically a 2020 4Runner Venture Special Edition. Alright, so now we got the hood cleaned where the deflector is going to be installed. Now we're going to start the installation. So in the box you get the manual, the hardware, which includes 6 hood inserts, 6 plastic washers, 6 metal screws, and 4 rubber bump-ons, what they call them. And the first thing, and obviously you get the hood deflector as well. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this up to the hood and see exactly where the hood inserts go in. So I've got the hood inserts installed, 2 on either side like this, over here, and then 1 there, and 1 there. There's 2 more holes. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see. You can see a hole there, there's another hole here. Those do not get inserts. I've got the inserts so the clips are orientated the same way on each side, which is up and down like this. All of them I've got the same. I don't know if that matters. It doesn't mention in the manual, but so I've got them all orientated the same way. So the next thing to do is to start attaching the deflector. The deflector goes up against the hood inserts, and then the plastic washer, and then the screw. Alright, so you grab the deflector, pull it out of the packaging. I noticed it had dust all over it and it's pretty staticky, so I wiped it down with a damp cloth. Now it's much better. I also noticed that where the holes are, there's a lot of burrs, so I'm just going to clean that up with a knife quickly. Careful not to scratch the acrylic. Under the hood is not so important, but I want it to sit flush. I recommend cleaning these holes up a little bit. Now that you've got the deflector cleaned up, the burrs cleaned out of the holes, it's time to start installing it. It's probably a little easier to do this with a second person to help you. But what I'm going to do, since I'm here by myself and the dog can't really give me a hand, I'm going to grab 2 screws and 2 plastic washers. I've already got the washers on the screws. I'm going to set the screws. I got a screwdriver. I set this on the hood, inside the hood here. I get this lined up this way. Screws started, not tightened down. We get the other screws in, and then I'll start tightening them down. There's no thread in the hood inserts, so you want to make sure you have the screw straight before you start screwing it in. mentioned, I've just got the screws started. Now that I've got all the screws started, I can start tightening them down. I'll start with the inside screws and then work my way out. Looks like my screwdriver is a little bit small for these screws, so I wouldn't try to keep turning it and stripping the screw. Just get the right size screwdriver so you can tighten them, not too tight. Just want them nice and snug. So I've got a bigger screwdriver to fit these screws better. Like I said, you don't want to over tighten them. You just want them snug. Over tighten them, you could easily crack the acrylic. Alright, now all the screws are tightened, snug. The last thing to do is to install these rubber bump-ons, is what they call them. And, you know, I don't know how well these stick. Actually, they're not sticking too well to this. So they probably don't stick that much. But you might be hesitant to stick these on your paint. I would be too. I actually have the protective film on my hood, so I'm actually going to install these. I'm not too worried about it because it's not going on the paint, it's going on the protective film, which I can easily remove later. This is not going to be on my paint. For those of you that don't have protective film, you know, you can take the chance, maybe see how others have experienced these on their hood for long periods of time. It might peel the paint off when you go to try to remove it, if you try to remove it. But I plan on keeping this on permanently. So, but the protective film is not a permanent film. So, you know, I don't know how necessary these are. I think the only time these would really be necessary is if you're going, you know, a couple 100 miles an hour, where there's enough wind force to press the, you know, and flex the acrylic down to the hood. It's basically to prevent the deflector from rubbing against your hood. But with the way it's installed, it's not up against the hood. It's a good distance from the hood. So the only way the deflector would touch your hood is if there's a lot of force on it. So, you know, you may not even want to install these, but I'm going to install them just because I have the protective film on my hood. Alright, so when I first closed it, when I first went to close the hood, it wouldn't close. So I had to loosen up the screws. And what you want to do is there's a crease at the edge of your hood. And you want to push, there's a crease in the acrylic deflector as well. So while you're tightening down the screws, you want to push the crease in the deflector into the crease in the hood. That way it lines up properly with the hood. It's still a little harder to close the hood. Obviously you're filling the gap that was already tight to begin with. So I'm going to push up in this crease, get it lined up with the crease of your hood. So I started with the center screws, then worked my way out again. So now all the screws are tight. Now the hood shuts. It's a little bit harder to shut the hood than usual, but over time the acrylic will form a little better to the hood. So we got the deflector installed. As you can see, it looks pretty nice. So I decided not to install the bump-ons. I will show you why. As you can see, there's a good 1.5 inches between the hood and the deflector. And if you push down on the deflector, you'll realize how much force would be needed for that deflector to bend down to the hood. So I decided not to install it. Now this may be different for other model vehicles, because maybe with sports cars or something, they may be much closer to the hood. But on this installation, there's plenty of room there, and not enough flex in the acrylic. The acrylic would break, I think, before it would bend down that far to the hood. So, as you can see, we got the hood deflector, the window deflectors installed. Sorry I didn't get a video out for the window deflectors, but hopefully this is a decent video for the hood deflector. So I just wanted to mention, the first time you close the hood, I would take it slow. Make sure that there's nothing obstructing the hood. It's you probably likely have to press down on the hood harder than usual, but just make sure that there's not anything in the way, and it's not so hard to put down that you're going to break the acrylic. So there's the full install, and I must admit, at least on the 5th gen Toyota 4Runner, the WeatherTech hood deflector looks pretty sweet. And the reason I installed this was actually because just a few days ago, well, I had the deflector, but just a few days ago, I got a chip in the windshield. I don't know if it'll show up here. There's too much reflection. But it's I don't know. It's not really. Yeah, you can kind of see it, and it's cracked my windshield. So I didn't want to wait any longer to install this deflector, because it may have prevented that from happening. I'm supposed to take it in to get repaired on Wednesday. Hopefully it's small enough that it can be repaired without replacing the entire windshield. So anyway, there's the install video for the WeatherTech hood deflector. Hope you guys enjoyed. So Kodiak, Sadie, and I would like to thank you for watching. Please like the video if you did, and leave a comment if you would like to comment. Please subscribe, because I hope to have more videos like this coming. We're going to get to the park here before the sun goes down. So, hope you guys like the install video, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.